It's not testosterone. This is what truly makes a man attractive after 70. What really makes a man attractive after 70 is it testosterone, a firm handshake, a deep voice. Most people think it's about hormones or maybe staying fit enough to keep up with the younger guys. But let me ask you something more honest. When was the last time someone looked at you and saw you? Not the wrinkles, not the cane, not the number, but you. I'm 74 years old. My name's Walter. And for a long time, I believed my worth faded with my muscles, my hair, my energy. Until one afternoon, something happened that changed how I saw myself and how others responded to me. It wasn't a miracle pill, it wasn't a new workout, it was something far quieter, but far more powerful. And I only discovered it after nearly losing everything that made me feel like a man. Today, I want to share it with you, because I believe there's something inside you right now that's more attractive than any hormone ever could be. But most men don't know it's there until it's almost too late. So, if you've ever felt invisible, or wondered whether your best days are behind you, stick with me. This might just change the way you walk into a room tomorrow. I used to believe that low testosterone was the root of all my aging problems. When I hit my late 60s and started waking up tired, losing muscle, and just feeling less like myself, it felt like something essential had slipped away. And like many men, I started searching for ways to get it back. I tried supplements. I read every article promising to boost T levels naturally. For a while, I even considered testosterone injections. But what I didn't expect was the way that pursuit made me feel anxious, desperate, like I was chasing a version of myself that no longer existed. One day, I met a man named Frank at a veterans coffee group. He was 81, walked a little slower than the rest of us, and didn't say much. But when he did speak, the room quieted. His words were measured, thoughtful. People leaned in. It wasn't his strength that commanded attention, it was his calm presence. I watched how others treated him with respect, even admiration. Not because he looked young, but because he carried something more powerful than testosterone. He had dignity, patience, clarity. He wasn't trying to be who he used to be. He was fully himself in this season of life. That encounter stayed with me. I started to ask myself, what makes a man attractive after 70 isn't about recovering what we lost, but discovering what we've gained. And here's what I found. According to the Harvard Men's Health Watch, testosterone supplements rarely lead to meaningful changes in energy or vitality for older men, and can carry real risks like heart issues and prostate problems. But practices like staying mentally sharp, emotionally connected, and physically mobile bring deeper, longer-lasting rewards. The truth is, no one looks at an 80-year-old man and thinks, I hope he has high testosterone. What they remember is how he made them feel. Did he listen? Did he inspire? Did he carry wisdom? That's the shift I made. I stopped chasing numbers. I started investing in presence. And everything began to change. And just when I thought that was all there was to it, I stumbled across something else, something even more surprising that helped me reclaim my sense of worth in a way no hormone ever could. I used to think charisma belonged to the young. The confident guy at the party, the one with the quick jokes and broad shoulders. But as the years passed, I began to realize there's a different kind of charisma, one that only life can carve into a man. It often begins quietly. Sometimes it's born from loss, the kind you don't talk about at dinner. Sometimes it comes from sitting beside someone you love and watching them fade away. Other times, it simply grows out of the slow work of showing up every single day, even when no one claps for you. That's when something begins to shift. Your eyes soften. Your voice carries more weight. You stop needing to be the loudest in the room. And suddenly, people lean in, not because you asked them to, but because they feel safe near you. A few months ago, my grandson asked me what I think makes a man strong. He's 16, full of energy and curiosity. I paused for a moment and told him, "It's not your bench press, son. It's how you carry the people around you. It's how steady you are when life gets messy." He blinked as if he didn't expect that answer. But I saw something settle in him. A new question maybe, or a seed. The men I admire most now aren't the ones who try to hold on to their youth with both hands. They're the ones who've made peace with the passage of time, who carry their age like a well-worn leather coat, nothing flashy but full of stories. Their strength isn't something they perform. It's something they embody. You feel it in the way they wait before speaking, in the way they look at you like you matter, in the way they sit still, not out of exhaustion, but because they've learned that stillness is power too. And the science supports this, even if it doesn't make headlines. Studies show that older adults who cultivate calmness, gratitude, and social presence experience lower inflammation, better heart function, and improved longevity. It turns out being emotionally centered is one of the most attractive things we can do for our health and for those around us. I no longer reach for supplements to feel like a man. I reach for my journal or a walk at sunset or a moment of deep listening with someone I love. And I've found that in doing so, the respect I was once chasing finds its way back to me without effort. But the story doesn't stop there, because just when I thought inner strength was the final answer, life taught me that the mind, how we think, how we stay sharp, plays an even bigger role in how others see us and how we see ourselves. I never used to think much about how I thought. I figured thoughts were just thoughts. They came and went, like wind across a field. What did it matter? But the older I got, the more I realized that how I think, the stories I tell myself each day, shape everything. My energy, my relationships, even how others see me. There was a time not too long ago when I caught myself spiraling. A friend of mine had passed another, ended up in a nursing home, and I remember thinking, is this it now? Just loss after loss. That mindset, that quiet voice of fear started to settle in. And with it came bitterness, the kind you don't see right away, but that others feel around you. My wife noticed I'd become withdrawn. My granddaughter stopped asking me questions. I didn't lose them because of age, I lost them because of how I was thinking. One morning, I walked past the mirror and barely recognized the man looking back. Not because I looked older, I expected that. It was because I looked smaller inside, like my spirit had curled up. That scared me. And so slowly, I started paying attention to my inner world. I began to read more. I wrote down thoughts in a notebook, not to impress anyone, but to understand myself. I started asking better questions, not what's wrong with me today, but what can I learn today, not what did I lose, but what did this teach me? It was like exercising a part of me I hadn't used in decades, my own wisdom. And the most surprising part, people noticed. Conversations with my grown children became deeper. Old friends reached out more. Strangers, even the young ones, began to ask for advice. Not because I had all the answers, but because I asked questions that made them pause and think. What I've come to believe is this: physical strength fades, memory can slip, but insight that can grow even as your knees creak and your hands tremble. A man who reflects, who evolves in how he sees the world, carries a light that draws others near. It's not the kind of intelligence you get from degrees or data. It's the kind that's earned through living, through listening, through losing, and still choosing to be open. And just when I thought that clarity of thought was the peak of what aging had to offer, I learned that the heart has a wisdom of its own, and that the way we care, the kindness we extend, may be the most powerful thing we ever leave behind. I've met men in their 80s who barely move without help, but when they smile, you forget their cane. Something in their presence makes you feel calmer, as if just being around them eases the weight you didn't even realize you were carrying. That's not charisma, it's not confidence, it's kindness, pure and quiet. We don't talk enough about kindness in men, especially as we age. The world teaches boys to be strong, to be tough, and many of us carry that lesson for decades, thinking softness is weakness. But I've learned something else entirely. Kindness is not the absence of strength, it's the proof of it. It takes far more courage to be gentle in a world that is not. And at this stage of life, nothing draws people in more than a man who leads with a kind heart. There's a man at my church, Joseph. He's 87. His hands tremble when he holds the hymnal, and his steps are slow, but every Sunday he finds the newcomers and welcomes them like they matter. He remembers their names, asks about their grandkids, and tells the same corny joke about fish and forgiveness. And somehow people laugh every time. You'd think it's the joke, but it's not. It's the way he makes people feel, valued, noticed, loved. I used to think legacy meant something you left behind after death. A name on a building, a pile of money. But watching men like Joseph, I realized our legacy is how we make others feel while we're still here. And no matter how much we slow down, no matter what we forget or lose, our ability to be kind never expires. Kindness is a language the heart never forgets. It speaks louder than our posture, our voice, even our memory. And in the eyes of those who look up to us, the caregivers, the grandchildren, the young men wondering how to grow old, it may be the most beautiful thing they remember. As for me, I've stopped trying to impress anyone. I try instead to bless people, even in small, quiet ways. A hand on a shoulder, a patient answer. A thank you said slowly and meant fully. And wouldn't you know, the more I give from the heart, the more life seems to give back. Not in things, but in connection, in peace, in meaning. Because in the end, kindness is the only kind of strength that never withers. You don't need more testosterone to feel alive again. You don't need a new supplement or a louder voice or a body that looks like it did 40 years ago. What you do need, what we all need, is more presence. And presence isn't about performing. It's not about pretending to be fine when you're not, or acting younger than you feel. Presence means showing up fully with who you are today. It means choosing to listen deeply, to speak kindly, to pay attention to the world around you and the people in it. It means slowing down enough to feel life again. We often think aging is about losing strength, losing memory, losing usefulness. But what if it's also about gaining wisdom, gaining compassion, gaining a steadiness that only time can teach? I believe this a man over 70 who walks into a room with quiet confidence, who listens more than he talks, who shows kindness without expecting anything back. That man is magnetic. Not because of a hormone, but because of who he's become. And here's the beautiful part: becoming that kind of man doesn't require anything special. No prescriptions, no miracle routines. It begins with one simple act: being present. Be present with your spouse, even in silence. Be present when your grandchild tells a story, even if you've heard it 3 times before. Be present when you look in the mirror and choose to see not what's faded, but what's grown. You can begin this practice today, right now. Take a deep breath. Notice how your body feels. Think of someone who needs a kind word from you and send it. Write a note. Make a call. Say thank you with your eyes. That is presence. That is strength. That is what makes a man truly attractive after 70. We're not here to race time. We're here to live well inside it. And the men who carry that truth in their bones, who've learned to be both strong and soft, are the ones who leave the deepest legacy. So let me ask you something. What's one quality you've grown into, not lost, as you've gotten older? Share it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story, and I know someone else reading might need to hear it too. And if this video gave you something to reflect on, a memory, a perspective, a little peace, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. You'll find more stories, more insights, and more honest conversations here, just like this one. And if you feel moved to support the work we do, you can make a small donation using the link below. It helps us keep creating meaningful content for good men and wise women like you. From my heart to yours, thank you for being here. Stay present, stay kind, stay true to who you are becoming. And I'll see you in the next video.